Welcome to another edition of the magazine. Today we have a great guest in store for you. Paul Chaison from Interior Designs here in Fairhaven, and actually his store is called The Haven. Isn't that awesome? Welcome, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. So tell us something about your upbringing and who you are.
Well, I was born in Watertown, which is just outside of Boston. I've only been in Fairhaven for about 6 years. I'm one of 8 children. I'm the youngest boy, and went to school in Watertown, lived there as a young adult, and then moved, into Boston and developed my career there. And about 6 years ago, we purchased a home, which we thought was going to be a summer home here, and we rehabbed it, and we ended up liking the results, and we made Fairhaven our home. And then when we did that, I found this location and started my showroom. And here we are.
That's awesome. You fell in love with Fairhaven like
Absolutely.
Everyone else
Everybody does.
Yes,
yeah.
Everyone does. That's for sure. So where did you find your passion for interior design?
Actually, I was really young. I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I woke up one day and I literally started rearranging my furniture in the room. And I don't know where it came from, but I just started looking at things and saying, well, I wonder if that were over there and this was moved to here and so forth. And I did it, and my mom was not so happy, and she made me put it all back. And then I did it the next day, and she said, it actually looks good. So it stayed. And then I just started doing it more and more and more and more. So pretty early on, I'd say.
Okay. So I noticed that you say design is a process.
Yes, it is.
Talk a little bit about that, especially where you had the knowledge of such a young age of rearranging things and then rearranging things back, and your mother liking it.
Well, that is part of the process. Like, it isn't just, oh, hey, let's move this here. It's why do we move it there? Does it make more sense here? Does the room appear to be larger? Can you easily use the room now? Is lighting better now because of this? So as far as process, good design should start with a designer going to your home and starting with an initial consultation, assessing the client's needs and budget, time frame, and the reality of what the possibilities are. It's easy for everyone to say, oh, well, I'd like 5 bedrooms added on, or I'd like 3 new baths. But then it would go to, showing the client what would fit the space best and figuring out what their tastes are.
Excellent. Tell us about some of your favorite clients.
Well, they're all my favorite clients.
I like that.
The ones that I would say resonate with me are the ones that are really hesitant in the beginning. They're not really open to the process of bringing in someone like myself. Maybe the wife, it was her idea, and the husband was adamant and totally against it. And then throughout the process, I like to teach my clients some of these things. You eventually win that hesitant client over by them seeing their transformation. And then seeing that it really isn't as expensive as they thought it was going to be.
Excellent. Talk about one of your unique design interiors.
Probably a church.
Okay.
I was doing a project down in Rhode Island for some clients, and I was asked to assist a new priest in town setting up his quarters at the property. And we hit it off, and the whole staff at the church was quite pleased with transforming his office, that they actually asked me to help pick the colors and the carpeting for the chapel. So that was probably something that means a lot. It's very special to me. Very special.
Awesome. What about your smaller jobs or your bigger jobs? Can you describe even a smaller job? Because
Sure.
people would want to call you for interior design for anything.
Any size project I'm blessed to be a part of. I have driven 200 miles to meet a client to literally pick a color for their kitchen. And I've worked on properties, like we just finished a very large funeral home in Boston, and that was almost 10,000 square feet. So the average client that I have is your typical mom and pop, and the role that I like to play, that's the most important role, is to prevent those people that can't afford to make a costly mistake and just save them from making that mistake. So you might be bringing me in for a color palette, and I might be halting something that you told me you were going to do because you thought it was a great idea, and in the end, it wouldn't have been a great idea for the home. So I'm honest, and I'm always upfront. I'm there to protect the client, and I'm there to sort of exceed the expectations of the process.
Excellent.
That's what I'd like to do.
That's great. Now tell us about one of your bigger projects that was very big.
I did a home just outside of Boston that was about 13,000 square feet.
Wow.
And it's a big, beautiful home. What's nice about this is that your larger homes don't feel so cozy because they're so spacious. This particular client allowed us to go in and layer the home and make it feel warmer and cozier. Because bigger isn't always better.
Right.
Sometimes less is more. So I'd say that that was probably the biggest.
Okay, excellent. So tell us about the Haven.
The Haven it's a showroom here in Fairhaven on Fort Street that I use as a design center. So it's a store, but it's not your typical store. It's a showroom where clients will come, or people that walk by will come into the store, and they may see a sofa, but they may need that sofa smaller or larger or in a different fabric. So we customize things for clients. And that doesn't necessarily always mean that they're more expensive because they're custom. We just give our clients options. So we have wallpaper, we have carpeting, we have lighting, we have accessories. We have everything that you would need to decorate and remodel your home, inside or out. I can help you with picking the exterior colors of your home, help you with some landscape design, or I can help you with remodeling your bathroom, or literally helping you pick draperies for your living room. Any aspect of design.
Wow, a vast amount.
Absolutely.
So we had a situation with our whole country and the whole world with COVID. How has that affected you?
Well, it really impacted our business. We had to close the showroom for about 3 months. A lot of our projects, unfortunately, things were moving quite smoothly, and all those projects were put on hold. It was very difficult to obtain materials that were needed to finish projects. Some of those projects, we were in the middle of kitchen renovations, so we had already demoed kitchens, and we weren't able to actually bring the new kitchens in. Some clients asked us not to go into their homes, so we certainly respected their wishes. And some clients that were seasonal clients that live in another state opened the doors for us to remodel while they weren't in the home.
Okay.
So I would say the biggest impact was it just became really difficult to obtain certain products and materials during that time, during the worst of it.
Sure. And how is things now progressing?
Things are getting better. They're still delayed, but they're a lot better. We're just asking people to be a little bit more patient, that we're almost through this, and that we're only here to make things better. We're not here to upset anybody, and that if there's a delay, we're going to do our best to rectify it as soon as we possibly can.
Great. So what's in store for the future for interior design and for Paul Chaison interior design?
Well, I hope in my future that it's here for a long time. I hope to continue what I love to do, that I've been doing for most of my life, for at least another 10 or 15 years. As far as what's in the future for design, I think what's going to happen is we're going to return home, and we're going to stay home. We're going to want the comforts that a home can provide. We're going to want to be close to those that we love. And I think if 2020 taught us anything, it's how precious life can be. So I think we're going to stay home. I think we're going to certainly go out again, but I think home will be our place that we unwind, that we feel safe, and that we connect and share things with those that we love. I certainly hope that.
So, Paul, with all your work here in interior design, I hear that you also do a lot of behind the scenes there in our community.
I do when I can. I love to help out. I want to be a part of this community, and I want to see those that are in this community thrive. So I've been involved with helping the local high school here with the exterior renovation project. I've helped the Fairhaven Historical Society with fundraising. We sponsored the Blue Devils football team. So I want to give back. It's important to me that as a business person here in town that we also give back to our community. We've helped out some that are less fortunate in the town with some furniture and things like that. So it's important to us to give back when we can.
Well, we thank you for that.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
So I want to thank you, Paul, for taking this time, to give us some more information about interior design and the whole process that takes to do interior design.
It's been
and
my
I
pleasure.
encourage, thank you, and I encourage all of our viewers to stop by 44th Street right here in Fairhaven and get some information and see how you can help them in their interior design of their house, even the outside of the house, any part of their house, just to make their home a place that they're going to want to come home to every day, like people do,
Yep.
but make them very eager to get home.
We would be happy to help. My role here is to make sure that everybody loves where they live. That's what I run my business on.
And that's your slogan.
That's my slogan.
Say it again.
Love where you live.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Today we have a great installment on the magazine. We're here with the Fairhaven Militia. We have Wayne Oliveira, Vicky Oliveira, Amy Sylvia, Mauricio Cordero, and Tim Smith. So we have a great show for you now, and we're going to start out introducing Wayne and finding out what is the Fairhaven Militia.
Good. Hello, and my name is Wayne Oliveira. I'm captain of the artillery. I take care of the cannons up at Fort Phoenix as well as the field piece that we have. And the village militia is a group of individuals who basically go out and promote history throughout the town. Our town is rich in history, as you're well aware, and our job is really just to go ahead and educate folks as to the local history that we do have. It was first formed in 1999 through the Office of Tourism. They had a group of volunteers who went to Fort Phoenix and basically acted as guides and would give tours. In 2003, they actually formed what is today the Fairhaven Village Militia. Those volunteers formed a group. We're now a nonprofit organization through the state, and we operate that nonprofit just, again, to educate, to promote, and to just kind of do anything history-wise throughout the town.
And talk about some of your members that you have with you here today.
So my wife, Vicky, has been a member for quite some time. She acts as one of the, I guess we'd say, just camp followers, does some cooking, does some sewing. We have Amy Sylvia, who's, again, been with the group for quite some time. We go way back. We were kind of reminiscing that the kids were just small when they started doing this. So they've kind of grown up in the militia. So for them, this has been kind of almost like a lifelong thing for some of the kids that we have. Maurice, who is Amy's significant other, has been with the group, I think we said 5 years? 5 years already. So, Maurice helps us in a number of different ways as more of a kind of a technical assistance. All of our members don't dress in period clothing, so some of them are behind the scenes and they help out with doing a lot of the technical work around the campsite for us. And Tim Smith, who's one of our younger individuals, he started out at a very young age. I'm not sure, Tim, at age 8. So he's been with the militia quite some time, and again, kind of grew up with all of this. And Tim does dress. He's one of our carries a musket, helps with the cannons, acted as powder monkey, I believe, for a little while, bringing the charge to the cannon. So, and we have a very family-oriented group. This isn't just about educating the public as much as it is a hobby for a lot of us and very family-oriented. So, we are a tight-knit group. We socialize with each other, when we're not doing the encampments. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of fun. It's very personal. It's very, it's a very open group, as far as camaraderie, I guess we could say.
Well, that makes the encampments even better.
It does. It's a lot of fun. During the day we do the educational portion. At night we sit around the campfire. We We have fun. We just tell stories and socialize. So, during the day is the work part. At night, when we have the overnight encampments, it's more of the camaraderie part of it.
Great. And also participation in the parades.
Yes.
When we have parades.
Yeah, in the good old days when we had parades, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, we've been in the Feast of the Blessed Sacrament. We've done a number of different encampments. We've done Mattapoisett, Marion. We've gone to some other historical events, just representing the town as the village militia. So we do a number of different things. We're not ones. Some of the groups travel hundreds of miles and they're out every weekend. That's not what we're about. We're more of a local group. We like to concentrate on local history, do some of the local events. We've brought our field cannon and fired a salute, mobily. We've also fired the cannons down at Fort Phoenix. On special occasions, we've welcomed in the Eagle. We've welcomed in the Morgan when they visit. So we're there for the dignitaries, as ships enter the harbor. I kind of laugh because Fort Tabor, when the Eagle came in, they fired a salute down at Fort Tabor. But they said when they got to Fort Phoenix, that's when they really knew that something was going on, because you could just about hear the field piece at Fort Tabor. But when they get to Fort Phoenix and we fired all 5 of the cannons welcoming in the Eagle, you couldn't miss it. Right. So Fairhaven tends to make its mark every time somebody enters the harbor. It's not always just about the New Bedford side. It's about the Fairhaven side too.
Well, that's great. I know one of the highlights of the 4th of July is the lighting of the cannons. And that's always been everyone comes to pretty much see the lighting of the cannons, and it's such a great event.
And that is something that you don't see. There are not many forts on the East Coast that fire cannons of that size. Those are 24-pound Seacoast cannons. And sometime between 1999 and 2003, when they organized, Chris Richard, the tourism director, had asked Earl Fonts and I if we could get those cannons operational. So Earl and I worked to get our cannon license. We worked with the Corps of Engineers to get them inspected. And we did the first firing. I believe it was right around the year 2000. And those cannons had been silent because Donald Bernard, who was a local historian here, did a lot at Fort Phoenix. We had encampments, we had Revolutionary War battles up there. But when Donald Bernard passed away, there was a period of time where those cannons just went silent and they were never fired. So Earl and I got those going again, and we did the first 4th of July firing in many, many years. So it was a little nerve-wracking for Earl and I because we were under a lot of pressure to make sure that those went off correctly. It's 1.5 pounds of powder. It potentially could be dangerous. They're Civil War vintage cannons. So we're not firing them, obviously, with a projectile, but just the fact of making a Civil War cannon fire is something you don't see very often on the East Coast.
Right. Oh, it's a great event. It really is. Now, how many members do you have in the Fairhaven Militia?
We fluctuate. I think we've gone as high as 30 members. Right now, we're probably somewhere in the 15 to 20 range, maybe. I would think that'd be safe to say.
And tell us about one of your members that you had, Ellie. What a great member he was of Fairhaven Militia. He embodied the Fairhaven Militia.
Right. So Ellie took over as commander. Chuck Cromwell ran the group for quite some years, right from its inception, through several years, got us organized. And then Chuck wanted to bow out. He still is a lifelong member, but Ellie took over as commander. He stepped up and he wanted to do the job. And he really had a love for history. He was part of the West family Bible story that took place during the Revolutionary War when they raided this area, the British. They stole a Bible from the West family, and Ellie was a direct descendant of that family. So he ran the group for a number of years. He just had a love for history. He had a love for being the commander. He really enjoyed what he did. And on March 3rd of 2000, Ellie passed away suddenly at age 53. So right now we're kind of in limbo. We don't have a commander. As captain of the group and one of the senior people, I've been kind of being the interim person to take charge. But we certainly miss his infectious laugh, his those belly laughs. He was just a really, really good guy, and it's going to be very difficult to get anybody to replace Ellie. We have a plaque that's been made up, a bronze plaque. This will go on Cannon 5, which was Ellie's favorite by far. We would fire all 4, but when it came to firing number 5, he just had a real love for that cannon. And the reason is, the way it's situated in the harbor, when you would fire that one, you'd hear probably an echo probably 4 or 5 times over as it went down the Acushnet River. So he just really, really loved that cannon. So in honor of Ellie, we've made cannon number 5 Ellie's cannon, and there'll be a plaque affixed to it in the spring that will signify that.
Oh, that's great. And thank you for doing that. And I know you put on a very nice memorial service for Ellie this past summer, and that was very well attended at Fort Phoenix. And I think naming Cannon 5 after Ellie is an awesome, awesome idea. And I think that the public will love it when they go see that. They'll think of him and they'll wonder, number 5, it's the loudest and it's the best. So
Exactly. It's the loudest and the best, and it's appropriate that it's named after Ellie. And we did have a very fitting memorial for him, which we, are very proud of. It was very deserving. All the time that he spent with the Historic Commission, the Militia, his family roots, his family history. It was very fitting that he had an appropriate memorial service. At least we felt that way, that it was important to say our goodbyes in an appropriate way.
Right. And to keep his memory alive by the plaque and his gift to the Fairhaven Militia, his gift to Fairhaven. I just commend you on your great work with that for Ellie, and I'm sure his family is very honored that all this has been done in his name.
Yeah, I think, as you can tell, probably very moving for everybody in the group. It's been an emotional year. Nobody expected to lose him. At least when somebody is ill, there's that period of time that you expect that it's coming.
Sure.
But when somebody dies suddenly, there's a huge void that's left, especially in an organization that's as tight-knit as the militia is. Again, we're a family group, so in terms of that, we lost a family member.
So you said you're going to have it dedicated this summer. How has COVID affected the Fairhaven Militia with all that? So in order for this dedication to even happen?
Right, we think it'll probably be more of a private installation of the plaque itself with just the members. And then our thought is, if we don't have a spring encampment, hopefully by fall when things start to normalize, if we have our first encampment, we can do an evening or a dusk firing. We'll make sure that there's some sort of a memorial kind of attached in there that we can appropriately let the public know that the plaque has been attached, and that'll be kind of the unofficial memorial service for that. But we hope to do it during an encampment. COVID has kind of kept everybody at bay, and hopefully by fall at least, maybe at the very latest, we can get back to normal.
Yeah, and I'm sure our public can't wait, for anything, anyway, any gathering, but especially for this, because it's such a part of Fairhaven's history now with the encampment, and having that camaraderie and that family gathering and getting a lot of pictures of that and people coming down and watching and living that history is just incredible. So I really hope that that happens, and I hope that it happens in the fall. And what else is up for the future?
Well, I think once we do get back to normal, even if we can, or if we can't get back to normal right away, just getting out into the public, I think we've seen some of the things lifted a little bit, or at least we could put on demos, keep some social distancing, wearing of the mask, which maybe isn't historically correct, but we do what we have to do for now. But I think at least if we can get out into the public eye and start doing some, some teaching again, using all of the correct protocols, I think we can at least get back to some kind of normalcy. And then as things progress, get a little bit closer, taking off the masks and getting back to what we were doing before.
So the future is bright for the Fairhaven Militia.
Yes, yeah. I hope that we will continue on.
Yes. And if someone wanted to get in touch with you, the Fairhaven Militia, how would they go about doing that?
A number of different ways. I mean, Chris Richard, who was a former member here at the Office of Tourism, would take down any information, I'm sure, for us. My email is wayne.olivera@comcast.net. You can certainly drop us an email. Getting in touch with the Selectman's office at Town Hall, Vicki is there. So there's a number of different ways you can get word to us. Our Facebook page,
Okay.
which we have Fairhaven Village Militia. Hit us up on that, and somebody would be glad to get back to you. We're always looking for new members. As you can see, it's a family group, so if you're young, old, have kids, you want to teach your kids some history, get them involved in the militia, and it's a great way to learn Fairhaven's history.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out today to tell us about the Fairhaven Militia and spread some good news about Ellie and his plaque, and also the future for people to get involved in the Fairhaven Militia. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we thank you for helping us out and getting the word out. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.